Hello everyone, welcome to The Green Man, or perhaps I should say welcome back to The Green Man if you were with me a few moments ago for the Zenith Passage album review. This time I'm moving on to some melodic death metal here with the second album from the Greek melodic death metal band Aetherian, and this is their release at Storm's Edge, which came out via Life Force Records on the 14th of July, and the album is 8 tracks and about 42 minutes in length. So if you enjoyed the likes of Amorphis, I would also say maybe earlier era Insomnium, Bellacore, if any of those sound like, your kind of bands, you'll probably quite enjoy this album. Although I will say, I don't think it ventures outside too much of its own kind of comfort zone, at least. It never gets too adventurous for me. It's always relatively linear from song to song. That's not to say they're not good songs, though. They do have really good soaring moments and lots of that triumphant, joyous melodic death metal sounds that you associate with this kind of band, I think, and this kind of an album. So for me, it's quite an aggressive style of melodic death metal album. I think it's a little more aggressive than more recent Amorphis albums. It has a lot of that chugging sound. It's got quite a prominent low end sound to the album. And sometimes maybe that's even a little distracting. I think they could have brought out more elements of other sounds in the production of this album to really kind of bring out the balance that's here, and the music is pretty good. So it would have helped, I think, with the overall album if the production and the sounds of everything was just that bit more balanced for me. Now let's go into some of the tracks of this second album, this sophomore album from Aetherian then. So one of the first tracks that stood out actually is only the second track, because the first track was an introductory track really to lead into the next one. And this is Army of Gaia. Definitely has that Amorphis-esque sound with those soaring lead guitar notes in particular that sound very recognisable, and you immediately think of a band like Amorphis with that song. Doesn't too much expected, as I say, but it's a solid track and a solid early track on the album. The title track at Storm's Edge was another good one, very heavy, crushing track, more faster, more blast beats in this track as well. Nice change midway through the track, and this was a song that actually gave me a bit of that Bellacore kind of sound in this song. Advent Dreams, really good track to follow up on that one, I thought. I liked this one a lot. I thought, it has that marching, triumphant, and joyous melodic death metal sound once again. Good break in this song with that clean acoustic guitar strumming that we associate with bands maybe like Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum, that take a break from the more heavier chugging sound on the album. Perhaps my two favourite tracks though were the ones that actually came at the end of this album, and those being Soul River and Starlit Skies, I think it was, Starlit Shores, sorry, at the very end. And the reason why is because there were more changes in these two songs that added something else to them. Whereas a lot of the other tracks on the album for me did just were kind of like going on a sort of a more straight road where they weren't diverting too much. Whereas these did well at sort of not taking you too far outside of the themes of the songs, but bringing you back in nicely whilst giving you a nice bit of diversion from that linear pathway through the song that you get on a lot of other parts of this album. But you know what? It's still an enjoyable album. It's still a solid one. It's still one I think I'd recommend if you like melodic death metal. And, for those last two tracks actually alone, I do think you will quite enjoy this. It's an album that maybe will put a smile on your face if you just like that classic melodeath sound that we get from those, as I say, those classic melodeath bands. Particularly from Finland, I would say. Particularly from Finland. So, with all that said and done, what's the final score I'm going to give to this album? From, I think I nearly said Aetherius, which was a band I've talked about recently on another video. So I mean to say Aetherian if I've said Aetherius anywhere else in this video. Aetherian. I'm going to give this album a 7 out of 10. It was enjoyable, but I would have liked to have seen a bit more adventure and a bit more, I think, boldness in trying other things. I'd also have liked the production to have been a bit cleaner and a bit tidier to really bring out what is the good stuff from this release. So that's it from me for the album reviews for this Sunday. Let me know what you think of this album and of Zenith Passage in the other video as well if you're checking that one out. Do let me know what you think of those, what are your favourite songs as always. Otherwise from me, until next time, bye for now.